Good morning, everyone. Welcome back into my kitchen, my channel, Cooking with Carol Diane. This is a little side area I set aside every now and then that I call tea time. Tea time talk, conversation, chit chat, whatever you want to say. It's just a time where I'm going to sit down and have some tea and talk with you folks out there. I found again, another teapot of mine. This is the Franciscan apple design. I'm sure you've seen this design way back, probably in the 50s. And I have two different sets. I have the Franciscan of the apple, and then I have the Franciscan desert rose. I have more to my desert rose than I do the apple pattern. But I found this and I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to bring that out. I couldn't find it last fall when I was setting my fall table because things are still in my shed buried. I can't find certain things, but this one wasn't, so I brought it out today. So what am I having? I'm going to have, let me get it poured here because it's pretty hot. I am having English mint. That's what I'm having this morning. And what to talk about? Oh my gosh, there's all kinds of things. It's been a busy week, it has. And so I thought I'd sit down and chit chat about what my week's been. It's been interesting, it really has. It has been 1 week today that I started this project of bringing a chicken coop home at my age and getting 8 chickens. And everybody has asked me, how's the chickens doing? The chickens are fine. On day 3, it was kind of interesting for me. It was a little panic time of, oh my gosh, Diane, what have you gotten yourself into? Because not only, yes, the expense of everything, because it is. It's expensive to buy a coop. It's expensive to go and buy all, to start out with, if you don't already have it. To buy all the needed things that you need for 8 chickens. These are pullets. They're young chickens that were going to be hens once they start laying their eggs. Okay, I got everything I think I need. Really, I do. And then some. And then some. But by day 3, it was like, oh my gosh, you know, I have to get up early in the morning. Well, I don't, husband does. He gets up and he actually opens that door and lets them out early in the morning before he goes to work. Then at night, well, the first couple of nights, I literally had to pick the birds up and put them in the hen house part of it and then shut the door. They didn't just go up on the ramp on their own. By the 4th night, they did. And that was nice. It really was. I have started to name my chickens. Yes. I have Mabel, Sassy Sally, Foxy, the red one. Let's see, what else did I pick? Shirley and Emmy for the emerald green. I know there's one I'm missing, a couple of them probably. But I wanted to wait till I kind of see their personalities, and that's kind of what I've done. They come to me just fine. They know I'm their food source. They're not dumb birds at all. They know who's feeding them. And so I've been talking with them and trying to bond with them and making them feel nice and comfortable in their new home from what they had. And so that's taken a little while. I go out every morning and give them a nice tray of fruit and vegetables. Why am I doing that? To give them just a little extra boost for when they do start laying their eggs. And it can be anything from, you know, slices of watermelon, honeydew melon, the things that they don't like, that they just reject and leave it on the tray, they don't want it, are bananas and carrots. They don't like those. I have a cheat sheet. Husband found this and printed it out for me of all the do's and the don'ts of vegetables or fruit or whatever that you can or cannot feed, your chicken. And not only that, but then he got me this one that is, oh my gosh, it's quite lengthy. And it also has the food, yes or no on it, and special considerations. And so, like, if I was to feed them basil, yes, they can have it out of my greenhouse. And what does it do? It benefits the immune system. So see, it's really helpful. And I went ahead and it's in alphabetical order, A to Z. I went ahead and put in there like the banana they don't like, so that I won't waste my time remembering in 4 weeks from now, oh, I was getting some banana. And then they won't even eat it. So that's been kind of helpful. I really appreciate that. I went to the farm market again, and my dear friend, her name is Sharon George. She owns Ball Fruit there in Palisade. And I was getting the biggest kick out of her because the minute I get out of the car, she's all smiles. And she kind of laughed at me on this chicken thing because she's been watching me. I was saying, well, I thought you would bring one because she thinks they're my pets, I guess. And wearing a dress and maybe on a leash. I don't believe I will be doing that. They're pets, but not pets quite like that. I do have my chicken boots that I wear, and I only wear them out to the coop because I don't want all the stuff that's in that coop bringing that back into the house. I did buy me some chicken earrings. I did do that. Other than that, my hens are to now give back to me for all that I'm doing for them of some nice fresh farm eggs. And they will. So that's the chicken news. Everything's going fine. I did find a young man. I was introduced to 2 very nice people this week. Well, a couple of them. One was a carpenter that is going to build me a run onto my chicken coop where I can open the door and I can really let them out and nothing will get to them, my dogs including. Okay, he's going to come and do that. Such a polite young man in his 40s, saying yes ma'am, and just a nice personality. You don't find it very often. Then, after we did our concrete on our patio, which I love having that done, where I can just go out there and take a hose, and swish off things. And I can even go from the kitchen out to my patio now, clear to the barbecue in bare feet if I want to. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Husband ordered a huge canopy. It's like, I think 12 by 28, something like that. That's going to cover not only our hot tub, but the patio area where we can sit out there. We'll cut that sun. And here came all the boxes, and I mean it was several days of these large boxes that were delivered. And then now we have to put it together. So older son's coming down to help on that project. And I'm throwing a barbecue. And anybody I've asked, you want to come over and help set up a canopy? Free food. Just come help us do it. So the carpenter guy that's doing the chicken run, he'll be here that weekend. And anyway, so I was trying to get, all of that done as far as getting the pergola off of the patio. The concrete people set that off, the wood one. The canopy that went over the barbecue, we don't need anymore because this other one's going to be big, and it'll cover everything. So what did I do? I put both of those items on Facebook Marketplace. The place that you can sell things or buy things in my case, which I normally do. I put it on. Immediately, 48 text messages, boom, 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 wanting that pergola and the other canopy. Only they didn't know how to get it home. Finally, a nice young man came with his grandfather, and he didn't have any problem about getting that home. He was going to rent a trailer, and he had some friends to come and help. because it's big. You know, it was an 8x8 solid wood pergola. And I really didn't want it all disassembled because I had hung those twinkle little lights all on the poles and on the top. It was really quite soothing and nice in the evening to have that come on. So it would be better to have it intact. Okay, so he came the first night. He came with his grandfather. Wow, another really nice gentleman. He is a meat cutter at a grocery store that we have nearby. And he wanted this for his backyard. Okay. And then so that was on Monday. And he said, he paid me the money. And he said he couldn't pick it up until Wednesday. Okay, done deal. You paid me cash money. I'll mark it as sold. You're coming on Wednesday, which he did. There was not a hitch in any of this. And that was good. It really was. I didn't have to wait or wonder or have them back out or anything. Okay. So he comes with a couple of other men that, again, they were extremely nice. And we get it all on the back of this U-Haul trailer that had kind of little step platforms on each side of the trailer. It just fit up there perfectly. And I took pictures of that because I thought, well, bye-bye, pergola. You're going to a new home now, which you did. And what I got out of it this week was two young men that, you know, one was trying to make a living and he was having a difficult time at a job that he goes to because they have these bosses that aren't nice. And his family came from, I think it was Arkansas. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. And he's out here all by himself. He just has a lab dog named Lucy. And he does the carpentry work on the side. He'll build like an enclosed screen, patio porch for you, all kinds of things. And that's what caught my attention on the ad was how nice looking this enclosure is going to be. So yeah, I really enjoyed the conversation with him, and I really enjoyed the conversation with the young man that bought my pergola. He was just so genuine and nice and sent me pictures of when they got it home, went home without a hitch, and sent me pictures of it kind of at the back where some trees and stuff were, and then he had a little glass bar, outside bar area, and then he had his nice patio, nice cushioned furniture sitting in front of that. And I think he was thrilled with the whole thing. And I was thrilled to let it go to a good home. I really was, because we had thought about putting it over where our grapes are, but you know what? I already have the exact same one there now that I had painted white. And to hand paint those pergolas, it takes time. I told this young man to rent or just go buy a Wagner paint sprayer like the one I have, and fill it with some white paint, and probably in about 10 minutes that pergola would be all painted fresh and look really nice. And then he could restring and hang the lights. I also sent him a link to where I bought those little twinkle lights. If, for whatever reasons he doesn't want to mess with it or they break or whatever, when he takes them down, he can go get some more. So that was interesting, all week that I actually sold it and got it done. And so then after that, this week has been kind of interesting yes, I'm still keeping up with news around the world and trials that go on. And the one was, that on Wednesday was the sentencing of the Bryan Kohberger that took the plea deal. And I watched that whole thing of the sentencing. This is where they do the impact statements. And yeah, they can get pretty emotional. They really can, because that's your time to talk about how the death of your family member has affected you. And so the first one that came from the roommate that was the only survivor, that she did survive not being killed, that was hard to listen to. I mean, she's pretty torn up about this, of survivor guilt, And the best one that's just going kind of viral all on the internet was that Olivia Gonzalez, which was Katie's sister. Her statement I thought was awesome, really. Why? Because she went to the meat and potatoes of who Bryan Kohberger really is. And two of those girls that were killed, there was 4, remember these were the college students that he attacked at night in their sleep and killed. And 2 of those girls, their parents, that was their only child. How terrible, you know? So he will spend life in prison up there in Idaho, no possibility of parole. He will have the toe tag parole, which really is you leave prison with a tag on your toe that you've died there. That's how he'll leave there. He is in the same maximum security prison as Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow Daybell's husband. Maybe they'll run into each other. I have no idea. If he can survive the jailhouse justice, that they don't like him, you know, they don't like what he's done. And just to watch that young man, you could see it in his eyes. His eyes really did tell of what a monster he is. Now the Lori Daybell trial ended, both of them, in Arizona, and her sentencing was today. I watched it on my iPad here, combining the 2 trials of Charles Vallow, her husband, conspiracy to kill him, and attempting to kill Brandon Bordeaux, her ex-nephew by marriage. Okay, the impact statements began on that. The very first one was of her son, Colby Ryan. Now, I have been watching Colby on his podcast for quite a little while. And what some of you may know or may not know, if you follow all of this with me, because some of you do, you will write me an email and say, Diane, I'm watching the same trial as you. Okay, so to keep up with it is to keep up with everything that's going on even in their family. And what went on with poor Colby is that he had a mini stroke. Now they've narrowed it down. He's had 2 now in 2 weeks. And they've narrowed it down to meningitis, a viral meningitis. Okay. When I look at the young man, and I've been watching him, stress, stress, stress. All of this from 2019 for 6 long years, this young man has had an inner stress with him. And it comes out. And there's nothing more devastating to your body than to have stress, and to have the stress let you know, I'm done with it. You know, I'm going to show you. I don't want you talking about it anymore. I don't want you dwelling on it. I want you to, you know, heal from all of this. And I think God above tells you in your body as a warning sign. And that's what I saw. I could be wrong, you know. I'm no expert on this, but I've just had so many things over the years that my body has told me on different things, on stress. No more, no more. So, and he's still, you know, on his phone saying things and doing things even in his hospital room. It's amazing. So he was to do a video Zoom of his impact statement to the court. And they were having kind of difficulties in the courtroom, I guess, and so 2 other people were to go before him, but anyway, it turned out he was the first to be heard by the judge. What he didn't know later is that he could have pushed the button so that you could see him, like us sitting here at home, could actually see him on the monitor. He didn't know that. He just was under the impression, just unmute himself is what the judge had to say so that we could actually hear him. So that was kind of unfortunate that we didn't get to actually see his face, but we heard him. We did. And certainly his mother, Lori Vallow Daybell, heard every word he had to say. Okay, so anyway, there was quite a few. I think I counted 15 and then more. I stopped counting after that, of the impact statements. Larry Woodcock was angry. Kay Woodcock, her statement, I think she tried to pull like what they did on the Bryan Kohberger. You're only supposed to address the court, the judge. You're not to look at the defendant. And in Bryan Kohberger's sentencing, one of the fathers turned the whole pulpit, to him. The judge didn't seem to do anything or mind. He let him do that. But on Lori Vallow Daybell, Kay Woodcock, she turned her whole laptop. She took it and then she turned it that she was going to look right at Lori. And Trina Kay came over and said, you can't do that. You can only address the judge. Okay. Then she read a letter that was supposed to be like, if JJ had lived, he would have been 13 years old, and his feelings. And so we went through all of that. What did I get out of it? Because yes, they found her guilty, of course, on both of the trials. The sentencing, I think we all knew. It was 25 to life with the possibility of parole. They're all going to run consecutive to the ones that she already has up there in Idaho. So that woman's never, ever, ever, ever going to get out of that prison. Okay. What did I get out of watching these two trials? When I got finished watching this sentencing from the Bryan Kohberger, I went, wow. Why did I say that? Again, from the impact statements to watching, they actually had a video on the reporter that went to that particular prison up there and how bad that prison is, that maximum security prison, and that you're in there for 23 hours a day, 1 hour of sunlight, pardon me, and just the coldness, they have cages, almost like animal cages. They have cages outside. That's your recreation area for 1 hour, if you want it. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I would have taken that plea deal. I think I would have taken this firing squad rather than know that for the rest of my life I had to be in a place like that. So my one word on Bryan Colby's sentencing was, wow. My one word on finally, after all these trials now of the Lori Vallow Daybell, was I just felt empty. Really, I felt empty. I guess I was a little let down about the judge. I guess I was expecting a little bit more of a punch from him to her. He did get in a few things of what she had to say were not true. They're not, she makes these things up in her mind of her version of things, and he was trying to make her aware in the court and everybody. That's not how it works. That's not true. She was given a fair trial twice. It's true he can't go into anything personal. I'm sure he's up to here and was up to there with all her shenanigans that she pulled during both trials. But it's over now, and he did address the families as far as the Charles Vallow families, and he did address Brandon Bordeaux as far as he was curious about the survivor's guilt. But Brandon's wife assured everybody, yes, he's going through that. Yes, the man is broken. He is. He's broken from all this. He's still scared to death, in fear of his life. And the judge put in one thing I didn't think he could do, but he did. Almost like a restraining order for life, that Lori cannot contact or be around, nothing. Brandon, pretty much his family, Kay Woodcock, he listed a few people, and she was to get that to day 2 of not ever have anything to do with them again, and no contacting whatsoever. Okay, so I got through all the sentencing of those two very important trials that have been going on, and now their sentencing date. It's over, folks, it's over. There's still lots more trials out there. We have another one in Colorado of a man, he's a dentist, that is accused of poisoning his wife. That's the trial still going on with him. I got another nice email from my friend Sharon in Fort Worth, Texas. I love them. Look how long they are and nice. I love these emails. I love any emails, I really do. And when one comes down the pike with me on this, I really do soak it in like a sponge because she's so down to earth and nice. Apparently she likes to watch my videos, whether it's cooking in my kitchen of something, or this set aside time of tea time, or me walking around my yard showing something, well, it died, that plant died, now I've got to replant this. Or the newest adventure of my chickens. Yeah. So in her email, she had mentioned to me that she had two questions for me, but one of them was, did I ever hear back from the gal that was on YouTube, that had her YouTube, and took them all off, deleted all of them because somebody was being a copycat to her? My answer is no. Her name was Pam, and no. I tried again to reach out to Pam, and she doesn't want anything to do with YouTube as far as making videos anymore. I do believe she's going to continue sewing and doing what she likes to do, yes, but not in the sense of putting it on YouTube for people to remark one way or the other about, or make her feel bad, or copy her. She just was overwhelmed with it. So hopefully that answers that question. Other than that, like I said, I get emails on different things of what's going on in my life. And she touched on this because apparently she watches another gal called Chit Chat with Granny Pat. This is a way older than me woman, very much senior woman, that has her YouTube channel. There's a couple of them. I watch another gal. I think hers is Cat's Cottage, and then this one of this Chit Chat with Granny Pat, that they just sit and they talk about whatever in their day or their week, and if you can relate to it, great. I hope to do the same thing on tea time. If you can relate, if you can say, I have the same pattern as you, Diane. I've been collecting that Franciscan china for years. Great, then we have something in common. Years ago when I brought out my the Desert Rose pattern, I was using that every day for just my dishes every day. I will use this set this fall because I did find the box. So I will use it this fall. But anyway, that's kind of been my week of watching the two sentencings, yes, getting these chickens where I am comfortable with everything, and answering emails to just, I still have, a lot of yard work to do. In a couple of weeks, I'm having a very special person come and see me. It's my big brother. Yeah, him and his wife are coming back from California. It's his 60th class reunion, and somehow they're having it down here. And he wants to see me really bad. Wants to see my house, wants to go get peaches, the whole 9 yards. So I'll be picking him up at 10:30 in the morning at his hotel and having him for a good part of my day. And that'll be kind of nice. So I want to get everything kind of done. I'm hoping it should be, the canopy over the back patio should be done by then. My run to my chicken coop should be done before then. And it's always nice that you get these projects out of the way, especially if you're having company. I want to feel good, my body, I want to feel good. I went back to here's some bad news that yes, I have to have another very invasive surgery, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. And so I do have to kind of plan my days and do things according to what's going to happen when I have my downtime. And these were big projects over the summer. They really were. So I'm trying to get all of that done and still have company that I want to visit with and enjoy these little birds. And maybe you have that too. Maybe your summer's been very, very filled with something. I canceled having added concrete put onto the patio to have like a 10 by 10 pool put back there, because I'm thinking it's just too much right now. It's a lot to have those people come, and he still has his skid steer in my backyard. He's had it there for 2 weeks. Hasn't come to get it. He's been out of town, he says. Okay, but it's just too much sometimes, and I'm thinking, you know, we only have one more month of the hot weather. That's August. Then it starts to cool down. We go into winter. I don't need a pool or an extra slab of concrete out there right now. So I'll address that next spring. Oh, so many things when you own a home and you want to get things done. The yard has come back. It really has. My roses have come back. Everything from that horrible hailstorm. Gosh, it took a hit. It really did. And things just look so sad. But now they're looking pretty good. Even the other day I was standing back and I was looking at the leaves all on the pergola out here where my grapes are. They're all high now and looking good. And the grapes look pretty good. They still have a couple more weeks, I think, to go, really, because I didn't pull those or do clear until either the first or second week in August when I started making my grape jam. So I have to wait a little bit longer for them. I noticed on one of my peach trees right out this way, there might be 2 nice big ones that I can pick. Yeah. My squash is coming right along. It really is. So those things kind of perk you up and make you feel good that, okay, even though Mother Nature got involved really heavily around the yard, it's starting to come back and look the way I want it to for a good another month, at least all in August, that it'll look really nice. And I hope you're doing the same thing. I know that this gal that writes me says what she's doing in her yard of different things. And if it gets done, it gets done. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I feel the same way. If it gets done, it gets done. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. At my age, I try really hard. Probably the first week in August, I'll be planning another luncheon with my lady friends. One of the ladies will be back from her month visit with her sister in Germany. And so we'll all get together for that. I always still like to go out to lunch with my best friend Laura. We have such a bond together that we have so many similarities. Whether it's in our married life, you know, that we talk about our husbands, you know, of something, or our kids, whatever. And she's the one that lost her grandson about 2.5 months ago. And she's still plugging along. You know, it's hard to lose somebody. It really is. So I try to help her any way that I can, even if it's just sit down and talk for a little while, because that's what they need at the time. No cooking yet. I made the peach ice cream, homemade ice cream, and it's delicious. I have made, I don't even know how many of those buckets that I have put on that little machine and made either peach or strawberry homemade ice cream, because it's so fast and easy. 20-25 minutes. I've been going now with mine the good 25 minutes. The last one that I made, husband wanted me to switch it up a little bit and make the peach ice cream only using the heavy whipping cream instead of the half and half. Well, I did, and it is very, very rich tasting. I'll tell you that. I like the half and half a lot better. So today I was to make some more. We have some peaches left over, and I was to make some more peach ice cream. The last strawberry ice cream I made, I really pureed the strawberries, and I like it that way. I don't like the chunks of just chopping it up of a strawberry and sticking it in there. I like it where you really could see the seed parts, you know, the little specks and everything of the strawberries in the ice cream. It does tint it a little more, doing it that way, of a pink color, which is nice. Gosh, it's good. Really, it's good. So I'll probably make some peach ice cream today. I do need to make some homemade lemonade. I have shown you before how you make my version of homemade lemonade. Get you some lemons, you know? When you have a lot of lemons, what do you make? You make lemonade. And my version is so simple of that recipe. Really, go back in all of my 248 videos and find the homemade lemonade. But really, it's so basic of taking, you squeeze 2 cups of the lemon juice, put in a saucepan. Take 2 cups of sugar and boil that. Yeah, boil it until that sugar dissolves, and that's your syrup. Turn off the heat, let it all cool down. Put that into a pitcher, a plastic one, if it's not cooled all the way, a plastic one. And then add your water up to whatever level on your pitcher, and you've got homemade lemonade, and it's good. It really is. Doesn't taste like a concentrate one, doesn't taste like those instant packaged ones or anything. This is homemade lemonade. So I'm going to make some of that today, and instead of making a video, which I've already made for you, of showing you how to make the homemade ice cream or how to make the homemade lemonade, I'll just go ahead and make it today and be done with it. My next video will be something that I've made in my kitchen, because after all, my channel is called Cooking with Carol Diane, and I am Diane. Still haven't taken the website down yet. Why? I forget. I forget, so I've had to pay a whole nother month on that website, but that's okay. For people that are new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, it's free. It just makes it where, and the little bell, makes it where you will see the next video that I make, whatever I do, whether I'm sitting here talking, whether I'm out in my yard showing you something, or whether I am cooking something in this kitchen of mine. Either way, you're going to find me. And that's what it's all about on YouTube. So I'd like to end my video by saying, I hope you're all having a good summer. I hope maybe you've taken either maybe a little trip, gone camping, gone fishing, done something that you really want to do. And if not, if you're just home and you're enjoying your yard, that's okay too, because that's kind of what I've been doing all summer long. I've been enjoying my house and my yard, and it's high time I did. It really is. My 2 puppy dogs are doing just fine. They're in the living room resting right now. We had a kind of a cool morning. We really did. There's a little breeze out there, and I'm going to get busy now, and I'm on the hunt for a rooster. So that's next in my project. Hope I find a good one today or over the weekend that I can add to my girls out there and laugh about that. My tea time is finding my new edition of a rooster, because last night when I was out there, and I've really changed my mind about this rooster thing, I was out talking over the back fence to my 96-year-old neighbor. She can't see really well. I said, "Did you see my new chicken coop?" Yeah, she saw that and the chickens. She says, "Where's the rooster?" I said, "I don't have a rooster." She says, "Oh, I miss a rooster." She says, "I was raised on a farm." And she said, "I miss that 7:30 in the morning, you know, that cock-a-doodle-doo." I said, "Well, funny you would say that." Because I said, my oldest son said, "Mom, you really kind of need a rooster. It keeps the chickens in line. They don't fight with each other, and that's what you kind of need. But get a chill rooster, one that's quiet and friendly and all that." So that's kind of what I'm on the hunt for. And now that I kind of have the stamp of approval from my 96-year-old neighbor next door that it's not going to bother her. I'm in the county where I live, so I can have livestock. So it's not going to bother her, and I'm thinking, good, I'm going to add another one to my flock of birds. So I'll catch you next time when you might see the rooster in the picture. And I hope all of you are having a good day today. This is from my kitchen, back to yours. Bye-bye now.